There's a moment every man faces in the dating world when a woman suddenly starts reacting differently because she senses your interest slipping. It doesn't matter whether you pulled back on purpose or life simply shifted your attention. Women feel these changes deeply, and their responses can reveal things you never noticed before. This isn't about games. It's about understanding human behavior and the natural dynamics between men and women. When a woman realizes you've lost interest, everything about her energy starts to shift. Some women panic, some get curious, some get defensive, and some suddenly discover a new level of attraction they didn't show before. As a man, your job isn't to chase after an explanation or demand reactions from her. Your job is to understand what her behavior means and how to respond in a way that keeps your dignity, your confidence, and your power intact. Modern dating can be confusing, especially with all the mixed messages. But once you understand these reactions, you stop taking things personally and start seeing patterns clearly. This video will break down the most common ways women respond when they notice you've pulled back, and how these reactions can work in your favor when you handle them the right way. 1. The sudden curiosity. When a woman realizes you've lost interest, the first shift you usually notice is her sudden curiosity. She starts paying attention again. She watches your energy, your tone, your timing, your silence. She might not say anything directly, but you will feel her checking in more often. Women don't like uncertainty, especially when it comes from a man they once felt secure with. So when you pull back, curiosity replaces comfort. This curiosity shows up in small ways. She sends short messages just to see if you respond. She reacts to your posts more than she used to. She asks subtle questions about where you've been or what you've been up to. She isn't trying to reconnect emotionally yet. She's simply trying to understand what changed. Women like to stay in control of the emotional tone of the connection, and your shift disrupts that balance. If you handle this stage calmly, she feels it. Don't rush to validate her or explain yourself. Let her curiosity grow. Let her wonder. Modern dating has made everyone easily available, so distance becomes powerful. Your silence becomes a message. Your calmness becomes a statement. When she senses that your world is moving regardless of her presence, she starts reassessing your value. And that's when her curiosity quietly turns into renewed attention. 2. The emotional shift. Once curiosity settles in, the next thing you'll notice is her emotional shift. This is where her reactions become unpredictable. A woman who was once relaxed may suddenly become tense, distant, or unusually sensitive. Another woman might go the opposite direction. She becomes warmer, more affectionate, or overly sweet. These emotional shifts aren't random. They come from one place. She feels the loss of your energy, and she's trying to figure out how to respond to it. Women read emotional cues deeply. When your interest fades, she doesn't just notice it, she feels it. And that feeling triggers something inside her. Sometimes it activates her pride, making her pull back as well. Other times, it activates a fear of losing something she didn't realize mattered. Either way, her emotions start moving in ways that weren't there before. This is why you have to stay grounded. Don't react to her highs or lows. Don't chase when she pulls away, and don't melt when she suddenly gets sweet. A man who stays steady while she goes through her emotional swing becomes more attractive. She starts seeing you as someone who can't be easily controlled by her mood or behavior. In the modern dating world, emotional stability is rare. Most men panic when they feel distance from a woman. They start over-explaining, over-calling, or trying to fix something that doesn't need fixing. Don't be that man. Let her emotional shift happen without trying to manage it. When she sees that her change in tone doesn't shake you, she begins to reevaluate what she had with you. And that's exactly when her emotional reaction turns into deeper interest, because she realizes you're not a man who falls apart when the energy changes. You stay solid, and that alone pulls her closer. 3. The silent testing. After the emotional shift, many women move into a quiet testing phase. This isn't loud, dramatic, or obvious. It's subtle. She pulls back just a little to see if you'll chase. She delays replies to check if you'll double text. She becomes slightly unavailable to measure how much attention you'll give. This phase isn't meant to punish you. It's a way for her to understand where she stands after sensing your interest fade. Women test in silence because actions reveal more than words. She wants to see if your withdrawal is real or if you'll panic and come running back the moment she creates even a small distance. Most men fail here. They sense the shift and immediately start reaching out more, trying to fix something she's not even verbalizing. But when you chase during this phase, you undo all the power that came from your natural pullback. Your job is simple. Stay consistent. If she slows down, you keep your pace steady. If she becomes distant, don't collapse into pursuit. The moment you break your own rhythm just to regain her attention, you confirm that she still controls the dynamic. But when you remain calm, something powerful happens. She starts noticing that her distance doesn't affect you. She realizes you aren't waiting on her reactions to decide how you move. That realization triggers a different kind of awareness in her, one that makes her look at you with fresh eyes. In the modern dating world, a man who doesn't break under silent tests stands out immediately. Women are used to men who try too hard to stop them from pulling away. But when you stay unmoved, you shift the entire tone of the connection. She begins to feel drawn toward you again, not because you chased, but because you didn't. 4. The subtle jealousy. When a woman realizes you've lost interest, one of the strongest reactions you'll see is subtle jealousy. She won't always admit it, and she might not even understand why she feels it. But the moment your attention is no longer pointed at her, she becomes more aware of the possibility that someone else could receive it. This doesn't mean she suddenly thinks you're with another woman. It means she feels the shift in energy, and her mind fills the space with possibilities. This jealousy doesn't always show up dramatically. It hides in small behaviors. She notices who comments on your posts. She pays attention to who you spend time with. She brings up little questions that sound casual, but are meant to gather information. Even her tone may change when she senses you're focused elsewhere. Women are intuitive, and when they feel they're no longer the center of your attention, the competitive part of them wakes up. As a man, you don't need to play into this or exaggerate anything. You don't need to brag or flaunt your life. Just keep doing what you're already doing. Living your life, moving forward, staying focused. That alone is enough to trigger the natural response. The key is not to weaponize her jealousy. If you try too hard to make her react, you look insecure. But when the shift is genuine, when you're simply not as available as you used to be, she feels it naturally. She starts comparing the version of you she had to the version you're becoming, and that comparison usually works in your favor. Modern dating has made attention a currency. When yours is no longer freely given, it becomes valuable again. And that's when her jealousy quietly turns into renewed interest, because she now sees what she took for granted slipping away. 5. The increased effort. At this stage, something important starts to happen. When a woman realizes your interest is fading and her quiet tests or emotional shifts don't pull you back in, she begins increasing her effort. It may not be obvious at first, but the changes are there. She starts communicating more clearly. She replies a little faster. She asks more questions. She shows more curiosity about your life. This isn't a coincidence. It's a response to the shift in emotional power she feels between you and her. Women don't increase effort for men who seem desperate or overly available. They do it for men whose presence feels earned. When your interest drops and you don't chase, you create that feeling. You become a man she has to invest in if she wants to keep a connection alive. And once she senses that the dynamic has changed, she starts adjusting her behavior. This increased effort may appear in simple ways. She compliments you more. She remembers things you said. She wants to meet up instead of vague conversations. She takes your time more seriously because she no longer feels entitled to it. These are signs that she feels the shift and doesn't want to lose her place in your life. Your job now is to stay balanced. Don't reward effort too quickly. Appreciate it, but don't overreact. Let her investment grow naturally. When you respond with calm confidence, she feels safe putting in more. Modern dating has conditioned many women to expect men to do all the emotional labor. But when they meet a man who doesn't bend under pressure, they instinctively rise to his level. This phase is where attraction rebuilds itself, not through words or promises, but through her actions. Increased effort is a powerful sign that she feels the change and is willing to work to regain what she feels slipping away. Keep your energy steady and let her meet you where you are. 6. The rewriting of the story. When a woman realizes you've lost interest, she often goes through a quiet internal phase where she starts rewriting the story in her mind. This isn't manipulation, this is reflection. Women think deeply about emotional shifts, and once she feels you slipping away, she begins to look back at the connection with a different level of awareness. She starts asking herself questions she never asked before. Did I take him for granted? Was I too comfortable? Did I assume he would always be there? These questions start forming a new narrative in her mind, and that narrative often brings her closer instead of pushing her away. This rewriting shows up in subtle ways. You may notice her bringing up old conversations. She might suddenly acknowledge things she overlooked. She may even bring up moments where she realizes she didn't give as much as she could have. She's not doing this to win points. She's doing it because distance forces her to see the situation with clearer eyes. This phase is important for you as a man because it shows you something very real. She is thinking about you more than she admits. She is replaying memories, reconsidering decisions, and trying to understand where the connection shifted. Women don't do this unless they care. Indifference doesn't analyze, interest does. Your role here is to stay steady and let her process. Don't try to guide her thoughts. Don't try to correct her view. Let her come to her own conclusions. When you allow her space to rethink things without pressure, she naturally starts valuing you on a deeper level. Modern dating moves fast, but reflection slows everything down. And when a woman begins to rewrite the story with you in mind, she isn't letting go. She's pulling herself back toward you piece by piece. 7. The reach for reconnection. This is the stage where everything she's been feeling finally becomes visible. When a woman senses you've lost interest, and she has gone through curiosity, emotion, silent testing, jealousy, effort, and reflection, she eventually reaches a point where she wants to reconnect. This doesn't always come in a dramatic way. It often comes in small, meaningful gestures that reveal she wants the connection back on better terms. You'll see signs. She reaches out more openly. She asks deeper questions. She stops playing around with timing and becomes more sincere. She may bring up meeting in person instead of staying behind a screen. She may apologize in her own way, not always with the word sorry, but with actions that show she's aware of the shift and wants things to feel right again. Women rarely say things directly, but they express themselves through the way they show up. This phase is where many men make mistakes. They either jump back in too aggressively or stay so distant that she feels rejected. Your job is to stay balanced. Don't rush. Don't punish her. Don't make her chase endlessly. But also don't slip back into old habits of overgiving. Let her come closer, step by step, while you stay grounded and consistent. When she reaches for reconnection, it means she sees your value clearly again. Not because you convinced her, not because you begged, but because she felt the difference when your attention was no longer guaranteed. Women respond strongly to shifts in energy, and when yours changed, it woke something up in her. Reconnection is powerful because it's voluntary. She's not coming back out of boredom or convenience. She's coming back because she now understands what she stands to lose. And that is the moment where attraction becomes real again, steady, intentional, and built on mutual effort instead of one-sided pursuit. When a woman realizes you've lost interest, her reactions reveal more than her words ever could. You see her curiosity rise, her emotions shift, her tests appear, her jealousy spark, her effort increase, her thoughts deepen, and her desire to reconnect grow. These responses show the natural balance between masculine steadiness and feminine sensitivity. Your strength is in staying grounded through each phase. When you keep your focus, your pace, and your confidence, she feels it. Modern dating rewards the man who doesn't fold under pressure. Hold your center and you'll attract the kind of connection that respects your value.